Hey, what's up? My name is Brad Gliet, and today we're going to create a conference manager app. So let's go to Supabase and click on New Project. Let's call it Conference Manager, and I'm gonna generate a password. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna create a new project. Amazing. Now let's log in into Supabase. Here's the verification code. Awesome. Let's run NitroKit. Now we still have the password, but we also need to click on the connect. Here, go to the transaction pooler, and here we have the information that we need in NitroKit. In NitroKit, we can click Command N. We give it the name Conference Manager. We have filled in all the information. The name is Conference Manager. We have the Supabase URL, the key, the host, port, user, and the password. So let's cook an entire new full functioning application. Awesome, let's save those changes. Now let's run our new application. There we go. So let's go to the private part and we see we are not logged in. This is in Dutch right now, but don't worry, it just says you're unauthorized. Next thing we want to do is go to Authentication, URL configuration, and update this to 4200. Let's add it here as well. Now let's try to log in. After clicking the confirmation mail, we have our application. Amazing. Let's add our first feature, which is speakers. So let's create a new CRUD feature, call it speakers, and it's paged. We want to be able to search for speakers, and we have a first name, last name. We have a gender, a company, and a description. So the first name and the last name is required. The rest is not. So let's cook this new feature. This is doing a ton of work for us behind the scenes. Amazing. So it has generated quite a lot. And if we scroll to the top, we can see the backend code that needs to be executed in Supabase. So let's save those changes. Awesome. We see that we have a speakers tab here now, and we can add all kinds of different speakers. So let's add myself. Oops. Awesome. Let's add this to dark mode now, and now we can also look for. There we go. Now I want to be able to add conferences as well. So again, let's go to the conference manager, add a new CRUD feature. We call it conferences, which is also paged. We also want to search from them, and the conference has a name, description, and max attendees, and a date. So the name is required, and so is the date. Great, we have generated a new feature, so let's save the changes here. I have a new tab with a new icon, conferences. So let's add a conference here, NGBE. I'm not sure, let's say 300 was around the 7th, I think. So let's create this. Great. Now let's create a many-to-many feature where we want to add speakers to conferences. So conferences speakers, and here we have a is confirmed, which is an extra field. Great, it has generated the many-to-many table. So here normally we would have the SQL with all the keys. And yeah, we have generated quite a lot of code. So let's see what this generated for us. So we have a many-to-many table, and in conferences, we can go to view, and now we see that we have a speakers tab here, and we can add existing speakers. Let's say confirmed. There we go. Now we also want to add talks here, and a talk is not a many-to-many relation, it's a one-to-many relation. So we want to have a tab talks here with the talks of the entire conference. So let's go back to NitroKit, go to one-to-many feature, and the left table is conferences, and the right table is speakers. No, it's talks, sorry. And the talk has a name. Description, and a speaker ID. So this is also important because NitroKit will look at a speakers table now and create a foreign key. So again, let's click on cook new feature. There we go. We have again confetti and everything is generated for us. So for instance, let's look at the conference detail component, like the HTML. And here we can see that a new tab is being added. So that's pretty cool. So let's save it and see what happens. So let's go to conferences. Here we have talks. We can add a talk here, and let's call it get extremely productive with template driven forms. And I can add the speaker. Whoops, I can add the speaker. Brecht. Whoops. And I can add the speaker. Brecht. Amazing. So what functionality do we have? We have automatic sorting, we have infinite scroll, we can delete multiple items, we can view them, we can edit them, we can have many-to-many relationships, we can have one-to-many relationships. When we add something and here it's dirty, we get this unsaved changes thingy that we can just use. Yeah, so basically we have the entire CRUD thing, light and dark mode. Now to wrap this up, let's do translations. Nobody likes to do translations. I'm pretty sure you don't like to do that either. So let's let AI translate our entire application completely. So let's go to feature, speaker, for instance, and let's say translate entire project. So this will loop over all the different um, components, all the different validations, and everything will automatically be translated. I'm going to do this for the entire application, and later on I will show you the result. Great. So the first translation is done. So let's see what it has added. Great, it has created the translations exactly in the format that I wanted to. So nested. So let's keep those changes and see what happens. For instance, in the speaker form validations, we now pass a translate service to our validation suite, and everything is automatically translated here as well. So let's save this and let's translate the next one. So let's go to conference, translate entire project, and again, it is translating for me. Amazing. So this actually saved us tons of time. I mean, it generated for a while. I burned some tokens. I'm gonna dive deeper into that later, but check out how much has been translated for us. Like everything here is completely translated in 3 languages, and all these different files are being automatically updated for us. So let's check out our final application. Okay, cool. So this is in Dutch. We can set it to French, for instance. And here we can see that we have our validations that are also done in French right now. Okay, let's put it to Dutch. So we can add, sorry, conferences. We can check out a conference, add talks, add a new talk. Everything is perfectly translated. The entire thing is completely mobile friendly. And now we can make some small adjustments. For instance, when I go to speakers, I don't want to see the description, and I only want to see first name and last name in mobile view. So let's look for speakers list or speaker list. All right. We want to update the implementation on mobile. Only show the first and last name. Remove the description column. All right, let's check what this has done for us. So we can see here that it has added hidden an empty table cell. So it's hidden on mobile, but it will be shown otherwise. And here we have removed the entire column, which is exactly what we wanted. Here it also updated the TS file, and it basically removed data imports, which is also pretty cool. So let's save this. Great, so we can see that the description has been removed here, and when we go to mobile, only the first name and last name are shown. So we have created an entire conference manager app. It's a small application, but it is complete. It's completely translated. It has all these CRUD functionalities. It has search, dark and light mode. It has authentication. It's mobile friendly. So basically, you can use this to build your applications and just save tons of time. And also it's done according my best practices and my architecture. So we have different types of libs. We have the difference between smart and UI components. We have our 4 models and vest validations. It's completely translated. Let's see how much tokens we burned for this. So when we go to NitroKit, we have this LLM info with a usage tab. And in here, we can see how much tokens we have spent on GPT-4o and the Mini. So we have about like 66 input tokens on 4o and 43K on the output tokens. And for the Mini, it's around 17K and 15K. So let's calculate how much this actually cost me to generate. So I have just calculated it. For the GPT-4o input tokens, it's about 16 euro cents. For the output token, it's about 5 euro cents. And for the GPT Mini, it's only 2 thousandths of a cent. And the other one is even less. So I think this entire code session cost us around 22 cents in euro. So that's almost nothing, right? So with NitroKit, we don't necessarily generate everything. What I'm actually doing is I'm turning it around. I'm using my own NX generators that create CRUD features. So I'm using LLMs to close the gaps. So that means I'm actually using my own code that I once written, but I don't have to rewrite it over and over again. The backend is also generated. So here we can see that we have our entire database schema, which is also generated with NitroKit. We have authentication. We have basically the connection with Supabase. We have basically everything that we need to create a full stack application. So I hope you enjoy this. If you have questions, please reach out. I'm always happy to help. Cheers.